So on this Gigabyte R180-F34 that I got off eBay a couple weeks ago, and finally got it unboxed and getting ready to get into service, decided to kind of take you along with my walk around and kind of do my first look through of this system. It's got 4 hot swap SAS bays, 3.5 inch. They are SAS, so that is kind of nice. They've got the extra pins, got 2 USB 3.0 ports, an ID button that I've never actually ever used on a server, and a power button. You know, a standard 1U server. It came with the inner rails, but not the outers, which is all too common. I want to know what happens to all these outer rails with these eBay servers. So, let's pop the hood and see what we got going here. Push that down, pull it back, wiggle it free. Come on. Alright. So, SAS backplane. That's powered. Looks like it's also running the fans, and it has some kind of information going to the back. I'm guessing that's the USB 3 cable right here. Power. Got these lovely dual stack 40mm fans that are kind of hot swap. They're not like your average Dell, but you know, they at least clip in and out real nice without screws. It looks like we have Delta brushless, 0.8 amps. I haven't turned on this guy yet to see, or this thing yet, to see what we got going on and how loud it's going to be. But it's a 1U server. I'm sure it's not going to be quiet. Got both of the heat shrink shrouds for CPU 0 and CPU 1. That's always a good thing. Got 2 really nice copper heat sinks. 24 DDR4 memory slots. This particular motherboard is a 2011 V3 board, so it can do E5, the E5, V3, and V4 families. So 24 slots of DDR4 2400. Looks like I need, if I want to run, it has provision, looks like it has provisions for GPU power, but if I want to use it, I'm going to have to go source the cables or make my own. Might just make my own. That actually doesn't sound awful. Just have to find the connectors. Looks like the motherboard, as you can see, is a Gigabyte MD90F/S0 DDR4. One of the 2 SAS channels is populated. That's 2 SATA ports. Need a screwdriver. Here. Let's pop this cover off. Missed a screw. Hopefully that's captive, because yes it is. That's always nice. I like captive screws on my risers. So, looks like this riser has one 16X slot and one 8X slot. It's a CRS 1020 PCIe GF2 and GF1. And like most of these risers and most of these motherboards, well, no, actually, is that a standard 16X connector? I think it is. Let's compare. Yes, that is a standard 16X connector. So I wonder if that other slot's only electrically a V1 PCI X1. Have to look it up and see, because it'd be good to know. On the other side, we have another 16X slot that's low profile for the back that goes into the back of the system. And actually, let's put this back in real fast so it doesn't walk away. Screw that back in, and that's why I like captive screws so much, because they're always just right there waiting for you. And then, see if I can do this with one hand. There we go. Put that back over here. SAS cable, let's see. That looks like SAS, I'm not sure though. SAS fan out. The bays were definitely the insides were definitely SAS. I could see the extra 7 pins. You can see the USB 3 connector. We got power. Let's set those back on there. And spin this dude around and check out the I/O. Oops. And the power supplies. Okay, so looks like we have 2 more USB 3, 2 USB 2. I/O. So we have a serial over over RJ45. Can't say I've seen that before on a server, but you know, it's nice to still have a serial port. IPMI and 2 1 gigabit LANs, and this right here is the coolest thing I've ever seen on a 1U server. I've never actually seen that before, but any of you that have worked in a data center knows how finger pinchy getting these cables out of these tightly filled 1U racks is. And then, so this little thing pulls up on the tab so you can pull the cables out. Dual redundant power supplies that are, let's see, what are these? 80 plus platinum, that's nice, with 800 watts maximum. Since this is an eBay system, let's make sure they're the same. 80 plus platinum, 800 watts max, made by Delta. I'm sure they'll be nice and loud with those fans on the back, but good quality power supply and 80 plus platinum. That is a pleasant surprise. What else do we have here? Got the standard VGA port. We're missing a slot cover, so they obviously had something in there. Looks like there's another, if we look. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that or not. There's not enough light. But there's another PCIX slot that's not populated. I don't know how you would use that. I wonder if there's a daughter board or something that could go in there and use that instead of the riser. You know, a 10 gig daughter board that would come over here and fill those ports. The ubiquitous A-Speed ATS 2400 BMC. Hopefully this one's new enough to have the HTML5 interface instead of the Java one, because the Java ones are all but unusable these days. We can take a nice little look in here and see what these air shrouds do and how it pushes the air that comes through this heatsink over, that will come this way and come through all these, the expansion cards, and cover these little, probably chipset heatsinks, maybe onboard LAN heatsinks. And this one, because not the power supply area, because the power supplies have their own fans to draw their own air out of the case, will come straight back and will help cover this and this. And yeah, nice looking little box. It's really clean. It's a Penguin Computer rebrand, so my suspicion is it came out of someone's HPC cluster, because this eBay seller had a lot of these. But good solid little box, and look forward to getting it up and running, and I should have a build video coming shortly after this. So let me know what you think about this format, and if there's anything I could do better. Do you like server content? Do you like seeing these disassembled boxes? Anyway, thank you. Throw any comments, questions down below, because hopefully, as the night goes on, I'll be closer and closer to getting this build going. Hoping to follow this up with a build video and maybe some software, and we'll talk a little bit about how I'm going to use this beast.